All right, we're live. I hope everybody can hear me. Today we're going to be, our teaching or our study is going to be titled Insurance Restoration. And it's going to be all about how to handle an insurance adjuster meeting. What should we be doing? Okay, when we go to an insurance adjuster meeting, it is the most crucial thing that we do as a roofer. Because why? Because we're out there, we're meeting with the adjuster, and it's up to us whether, it's not really up to us, but what we do has an impact on whether that roof gets approved or denied. We all know that, right? So when we're out there, we need to know how to be professionals when we're doing that. And a lot of times roofers, I know when I first got into this industry, one of the things that I thought was that it was I needed to go out there and I needed to argue with the insurance adjuster. I needed to go out there and basically tell them my point and, really kind of fight for this for to get it approved. But that's not really the truth. What you need to do is go out there and build relationships with these adjusters. And what I mean by that is it's not as much about going out there and proving to them that you got damage. It's about going out there and building a relationship with them. Because these, first of all, let's look at these adjusters. They've worked long hours. They work mad long hours. They bust their butts daily out there on this hot roofs. Basically, they're out there, and then they've got this roofer that comes around that knows it all, and he comes by and he's just telling them, "Oh, this is damage," and then they even chalk the roof up before they got there. It agitates them. So what I'd say, what I do is I go out there and I want to basically build a relationship with these adjusters. And then what I do is I basically get there and I shut up. I have the ladder set up for him. I ask him, do you mind if I come up on the roof with you? No problem. And then the first question I ask is not about the roof. It's about saying, hey, how's your day going? It's that simple. Asking them, how's your day going? What have you been up to? Where'd you come from? Get to know them. It's just like when you go into a lead. You don't go into a lead and just start selling right off the bat. No, you go into a lead, you bring down the shield of ice. You want to basically do the same thing with an adjuster, but we forget that. We want to go out there and we want to tell them that this is damage. This is damage. We want to chalk up the roof. We want to do all these things. That's not how you're supposed to do it. The first thing you want to do is, I say, don't be stupid. Basically, I've talked to an insurance adjuster a while back, and he gave me basically 3 tips that he would say that would seal the deal. The first thing he said was, don't be stupid. He goes on to say, just shut up. Adjusters are regular people under a lot of pressure with an important job to do. When you start talking, the second you get out of the truck, that's a good sign that for an experienced adjuster that they're into for a rude awakening. Like they tell football players about celebrating in the end zone, act like you've been there before. Show your confidence by keeping your mouth shut. There may be time for the adjuster meeting when your opinion is needed. They want it, they'll ask. Until then, but I also like to say this, is that it's not as much about, how do I say this? It's if we basically we are going to ask a question here. There is a question that we will ask when we're going through this, but I like to go out there. I'll even like to take when I'm training a new guy. I like to go out there and have the new guy showing me, and we're going back and forth, and I have the adjusters in there helping them show what hail damage is. And I'll even act like I'm new. I'll say, well, what do you think this is? I'm having a hard time seeing this. Do you think this is hail? Do you not? And usually when I start asking them and allowing them to help me, things go a lot smoother. But when I go out there and I start telling them what storm damage is, and they've been doing it day in and day out, it can get pretty frustrating. You can start to butt heads. And I've seen it. I was at one point where I took a ladder. There was a lady, and I pulled the ladder away from the house and took it. Wasn't going to let her off the roof because she was ripping off homeowners. That was pissing me off. But that's not how you handle it. Let me tell you, that one didn't get approved. Also, you got to hide your chalk. You don't need to be chalking up a roof before the adjuster gets there. That's one way to piss them off. That's one way to set up and basically set the whole adjuster meeting off wrong. Let's see here. Only help when you're asked. A lot of times we want to go out there and we want to start grabbing chalk and chalking up, and this is hail, pointing out all this stuff. No, let him do his job. And then what we do is that if you're building those relationships, I can promise you this, they're people too. If you go out there and you meet with them and you talk to them and you just get to know them, you'll build a relationship with them, and they're not going to mind me. Oh, I'm meeting with James. Awesome. I can't wait to meet with him. He's always really cool. He's a good guy. He doesn't come out there busting my balls the minute I get out of the truck. The other thing is that it's important is that when you're out there, anytime you have a roof, right? If you're out there and you've inspected the roof, you need to have a roof that's got legit damage. There's a lot of these roofers that'll play the cards and they'll say, oh, well, and they'll just basically they'll get 100 roofs and they'll file 100 claims and they'll just throw it up against the wall. That's terrible, and that's what's hurting the industry. If there's not legit damage, don't call them out there. And here's the thing: also, you need to have what's called collateral damage on every claim. Every claim needs what's, in my opinion, needs what's called collateral damage. Collateral damage is anything other than the roof that's been hit. So what does that mean? If you've got metal, if you've got a mailbox, you've got an AC, air conditioner, anything that's been hit other than the shingles, that's called collateral damage. That is what insurance companies like to see because that substantiates the fact that there was hail there. We need to make sure that there's at least, I say at least 4 to 6 hits if you're doing hail, 4 to 6 hits in a 10 by 10 square. And what you want to do is you want to mark it off a 10 by 10 when you first do it, and you want to find 4 to 6 hits. They really like 10 plus is some of the numbers, is the number that some people use, some adjusters use, but at least 4 to 6. And they need to be. You need to know what hail damage looks like. So if you don't, you can go online. We'll do another class one day about what hail damage looks like and how you can basically see it. It's not, and as I've heard roofers say, they can see it from the ground. You cannot. It's not visible from the ground most of the time, unless you've got like softball size hail. But where we're at here in Myrtle Beach, it's basically quarter size hail. You can't see from the ground. You've got to actually go up and take a look at it, and you have to look for it. But what I would say is that make sure that you've called it. If you do call the adjuster out, you've got substantial damage, that you've got enough hits on each slope to prove that you got damage. Because if you're not, you're just filing claims that's hurting the industry. Another thing I would say is that when you're out there, so you've got collateral damage, you've got the damage to the shingles. What else could we be looking for when it's considered collateral damage? What else could there be? You've got mailboxes, you've got hot tub covers, you've got gutters, downspouts, all these little things. And the thing is, the insurance company will owe for that. They'll pay. If there's dents in anything, the insurance company will pay for it. And here's how it'll work. They'll pay for the dents in the downspouts. They'll pay for the dents in the gutters. And the cool thing about this is that I don't eat deductibles. I don't believe in eating deductibles. I don't think it's right. I think it's against the law. But there are roofers out there that will eat deductibles. And to me, it's slimy because at the end of the day, it's such a beautiful process. Why would you eat a deductible and do something illegal? So here's the thing. I don't eat deductibles. What I will do is I will tell the homeowner, hey, you've got dents in these downspouts. You've got screens that are messed up. You've got gutters. All these things are going on that I'm going to show the insurance adjuster when he comes out here. That's money that you can put towards your deductible. You don't have to get it replaced. But I will not eat a deductible. And anybody that's doing that needs to stop because it's also hurting the industry. So we've went over a couple of things. We basically want to get to know the adjuster. Say, hey, how are you? Be cordial. Figure out how to build a relationship. You're never going to build a relationship by going out and putting your finger in his face and saying, this is hell, or just acting like a roofer. That's not going to help. For the longest time, insurance adjusters and roofers have butted heads, especially I know there are some insurance companies that are wrong. State Farm sucks. I get it. But at the same time, they're few and far between really when you're dealing with them. You deal with those, at least for me and for our company, you deal with the bad ones are a lot fewer than the good ones. Also, you're just like anything in life. You're going to have good adjusters and you're going to have bad adjusters. I explain that to the homeowner before they even get out there because we may have to get a second opinion. But at the same time, I don't know that until I've actually given it a fair shot. I've built a relationship. And if you don't, you can get a second opinion on that roof. But like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed this today. I just wanted to kind of give it a little talk. We'll get another video coming up with what hail damage looks like. And it'll be a little bit more detailed on collateral damage and things that we can find and how you can help the homeowner out to not pay as much on the deductible, but without basically eating the deductible or taking, or even saying, oh, I'll give you $1,000 because you're going to basically be referrals. And it's nonsense. Anytime you're eating a deductible or telling them they don't have to pay their deductible is wrong, unless you use the insurance claim money that's for downspouts, gutters, things like that, that was basically paid for. They can use that money towards the deductible, but you can't just waive it and say, because you put a yard sign in your yard, I'm going to waive $1,000 deductible. None of that stuff makes sense, and it's really bad for the industry. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks.